How about this weather? Yeah. Well, I tell you, as we roasted the 2 weeks prior to today in here, we have a new air conditioning unit, and we probably won't need it till next year. So there you have it. But at least we got it. So anyway, before we go any further, I know we have a couple of visitors today who I'd love to welcome, and if you would like to introduce yourself, that would be great.
Hold
on, we even give you a mic.
Oh.
We make it really embarrassing for you.
Yeah, we all gotta sit and stare at you.
We like to bring up all of our phobias and fears at the beginning here.
Okay.
Special.
We can see.
Oh, geez.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here. My name is Kathleen, and I live in Laurel Park, and it's my first time here, and I'm so glad that I finally made it.
And this lady in the back here, right in front of you, Tim.
Okay, here you go.
Equal opportunities embarrassers here.
Good morning. My name is Ani, and I've been looking for Namaste Center for a while, and the other day I just happened to fall right into it, and Mary and Allie greeted me with such love and open arms, and I know this is my place to be. And right now I live in Horseshoe, and am looking to move to this area so I can be closer. And thank you. They changed my life. I was really born again.
Well, thank you for coming, and Mary and Allie, thank you. Let's see, a couple of, yes, Brian, you're not a newbie.
My name is now Blue Water. I'm serious.
Okay, Brian, you get a mic. Oh, no,
Okay,
give him a mic and we're done.
We're done. My name was, up until earlier this morning, Brian Chrissy, but Chrissy derives from the Brits having devastated the French in the Battle of Crécy at the end of the 100 Years' War. And I'm not a warrior. I don't like that name anymore. My life is about water, especially blue water. That's a name that I was given 50 years ago. I'm going back to it, so I'm blue water. I'm new.
Okay, blue water it is, indeed. Okay, so anyway, well, before I get into the announcements and upcoming events, let's get some blood flow. Stand up and have our opening song here. A little more volume. Okay, I'm up here. I need my dancers.
Somewhere else.
Yay, Alan. Who else?
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am
A small group, but mighty, mighty, mighty. Okay, couple upcoming events. Well, this is the main one this week. Next Sunday, a week from today, Shannon Plummer and Bob Sima. How many of y'all have experienced Bob Sima before? Okay, he's awesome and great musician. Really encourage you to join us for the service because he and his wife Shannon are doing the service. And then, assuming the weather behaves, we're going to go over to Highland Lake at the amphitheater. And we're going to have a lunch. I'm gonna make pork barbecue. It's tasty. And then we're gonna have beans and rice and potato chips and all kinds of good healthy food. And we'll have lunch, and then there'll be a concert with Bob at 2 o'clock. If the weather decides to not behave, we'll do all that in here, okay? So it's going to be a great, great day. Please tell your friends, bring your friends, because it's going to be fun, and that amphitheater is literally one of the most beautiful places anywhere on the planet. So it's going to be fun and beautiful. So here's the barbecue cookout. It's actually barbecue, not cookout. But I promise, well, I can't promise, but I think it'll be pretty good food. So come join us. It says Bob Sima is picking up where John Lennon left off. So, hey, that's a pretty bold statement there. So anyway, I hope you can join us. I want to make a couple of announcements here on top of this. Vicki is not here today because she is at her home, beautiful home. Ellen and Carol and I went there yesterday to visit the Art Trek in Tryon. So it's been an event this weekend where local artists open up their studios and their homes for art show. And she's got, if you want to go, if you want to look for something great to do this afternoon, it's a beautiful drive, beautiful home, Vicki's beautiful art, and she's got cookies. And, so it's all good, and Jim back there behind the camera, he can give you more details. But there's a few of these on the table over there. There's maps and directions. Don't take Siri's directions, take Jim's, because we were driving all over the place. Siri always likes to play games, but hope you can join that this afternoon. And I think, as far as any other announcements, I believe that's it. I have, yes. Oh, yeah.
So a lot of people wanted to participate in the Ho'oponopono project, which I'm doing, and weren't able to participate. So if you want to, I have CDs for you, and you can still do it. See me after the service.
Okay, great. Okay, so that was a wonderful opportunity, and it would really help out Allie a lot. By the way, beautiful painting up there, Allie, the Green Mountain and the heart. Phoenix Rising, which, that's a phoenix, sorry. And that's gorgeous. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. It's really cool. Kelly is not here this morning. Mary had called me last night. I know she had spoken to Jerry as well. Her daughter's boyfriend and his friend were killed in an accident yesterday. Oh my God. So really send Kelly your good thoughts and prayers, and obviously her daughter Rachel. Never an easy, not easy, and very challenging time, and so they need our love and support. And so, as a matter of fact, let's just be still and close our eyes and just go into your heart. Be still and allow everything to dissipate into love. And we ask that the Holy Spirit bring comfort to Rachel. We ask that she find peace and comfort and feel our love. And may we support Kelly as she supports her daughter. Although we don't understand a lot of what our life experiences are, may we always remember that love prevails. So it is. Okay. So, Mary, I'm going to let you do the prayer with the mic.
From this quiet place within your hearts, I'd like for you to open your hearts even farther, opening more and more. And I would invite you, as you hold various situations, people, relationships in your loving heart, I invite you to include yourself, that you may honor everything you feel in these times of confusion and bewilderment and fear, and extend compassion to yourself for all that you feel: sorrow, bewilderment, powerlessness, confusion. Open your heart with compassion for yourself, and it cannot help but extend to the situations and people and the whole world. Open to compassion for all that is. And if you would like to join with me out loud or silently, which is fine. Holy Spirit, thank you for awakening me to my truth. Thank you for awakening me to my radiance. Thank you for awakening me to my power to heal. Thank you for awakening me to love. And so it is.
So it is.
Right over to this fella. Thanks, Tim. Okay, so I did find, Mary had shared with me a John Denver song the other day, which I love John Denver. Of course, you know, the best hit is which one? I know where I'm from.
West Virginia.
Okay, there you go. Take Me Home, Country Roads. So that's a favorite, obviously. But this one is actually not the one Mary shared with me, but it's beautiful, and it's called The Healing Song. And apparently it was never published. Released, thank you, yes. And so enjoy, it's beautiful.
Magical thing to me. Sometimes you literally sweat blood trying to write a song. Sometimes it takes months, and sometimes it can happen in 10 minutes. Annie's song I wrote in 10 minutes one day on a ski lift here in Aspen. Heart to Heart, that you heard earlier, I wrote sitting alone one night in a restaurant overlooking Hong Kong Harbor, having been in China the 5 weeks prior to that. Sitting by myself alone on a napkin, I wrote Heart to Heart. So I don't know how it happens, and I don't know the words to this song. I may know some of them. I don't have a melody. This is a song in progress, folks. But Dave, I don't want you to go home from this trip thinking that damn John Denver's never going to write that song. Let the mountains talk, let the river run. There is wisdom here, there is much to learn, there is much to know, much to understand in this healing time all across the land. You have heard my songs, oh so many years. You have laughed with me, washed away my tears. You have shared my joy, you have felt my pain. In this healing time, walk with me again through these darker days on this narrow line. Help me find my way, help me see the signs. I am not afraid, I am not alone. You have taught me well, you have brought me home. Let the mountains speak, let the rivers run, as the world awakes to the rising sun. In each brand new day, in our own rebirth, in this healing time on our mother earth. Let the mountains talk, let the rivers run. There is wisdom here, there's so much to learn. In each brand new day, in our own rebirth, in this healing time for our mother earth. In each brand new day, in our own rebirth, in this healing time here on Mother Earth.
What a song, huh?
That is awesome.
Thank you. It was a beautiful, beautiful song. I love that man. And another one, Gone Too Soon. We just don't know, do we? Okay. Getting closer.
Let's send energy.
Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so, since I don't have, yes, sir. I know. Yeah, because I don't want you to see my scribble notes here. I mean, it would be embarrassing to anyway, there's a reason. Then if you all saw how my mind works, you may run out the door. But anyway, I'm going to bypass the meditation. We'll do something a little later, maybe in place of that. But I was with Ellen and I were with our friends the other day, and we're in the car taking a drive, and we were talking about this and that and what have you. And I don't know if it's, I think we can all maybe agree, and nothing is easy anymore. It's kind of like everything is like you got to take 40 steps forward and you take 30 back, and it's just, nothing is easy. Dealing with people, let's use one example we're all familiar with, AT&T. That's never an easy task, right? In my day, for example, I can remember, and this was really an eye-opener for me as well. When I went I go back to my birth town, Huntington, West Virginia, and the electricians, for example, that were doing some work on my parents' home, they were, the fellow who does it is actually the son of the electrician that was part of my childhood, okay? So, and it's a one-man show. I mean, and if he has to bring in someone else, he does, but it's usually the one guy, and he comes in and he talks and you know him, and he knows what's going on in your life, and same thing with the plumbers, and it's, and you know what you're getting. But now, you see like all the electricians around here and all the plumbers, they've got like 40 trucks, and you got to make your appointments 3 months in advance, and then you got to pay for a year in advance if you want that luxury. And that's another example of not really things being that easy. You have a problem. Well, if you want to be able to get service, you got to pay in advance and say, well, for me to actually get you guys within 24 hours, I have to sign a contract or some crazy thing like that. It's quality of goods. It seems like things just aren't made like they used to be. Nothing seems to last. Ellen and I just took our tube TV out of the kitchen, which I've had for 30 years. It's got a VHS. And the only reason we took it out is because it was just taking up too much room. But, that sucker lasted. But yet, we buy these things. For those of you that have been here for a while, the story of the last one, it just went kaput. And it wasn't even a year old. Phones, okay? They make them so they don't work more than a couple of years. So you got to buy the next latest and greatest model if you want to be really tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, as Abraham says. So it's everything seems to be, and just think about it. A landline, with just a princess phone or something on the wall. Those suckers, I mean, when I go back to the home where I grew up, the kitchen phone, pretty ratty, but it's been there a long time, but it still works. It's been there probably most of my life. So I'm thinking of and just dealing with day-to-day life, it's like, it's just constant. It's stressful, it's agitating, in many respects. It's a rat race out there, as they say. There's no wonder people are seeking to go back to more simple means, moving, being more self-reliant, self-sustaining, being in nature more. We've lost that. I mean, these poor kids growing up, they don't even know what it's like to go out and play in a creek and get dirty and go in the woods and not worry about something happening. It's a whole new world, and I can't say that it's one of which I'm totally enamored with. I think that there's a lot of value in a more simple way of being, more of community and connection, and that simple life, just not having to worry about, back in the day, another example, which when I grew up, now my mother didn't work. I have a feeling many of your mothers didn't work when you were growing up. Maybe out of, huh?
Mine did.
Okay, well Karen's did. So, but out of so it's, but many of them didn't. And if they did, it was out of choice, not always out of necessity. So now, it's very unusual for a household with children not to have both parents working. which then guess what you got to do? You got to get the child care, go pick up the kids, and it's a whole other, stress and on the body and on the family, to be honest with you. And I take that both ways. I'm just saying, a man or a woman, wouldn't it be wonderful if one at least could stay home and be with the kids and be able to nurture the family? So there's things have definitely shifted, but of course the idea of buying, like I said, the tube TV, which weren't that expensive. They lasted for years and years, so you didn't have to have that stress of the income, and people ate at home more. I think you get my point. But I've been thinking about this a lot lately because things just are different, and I think technology is a great thing, and I think it's also, sometimes I just want to throw the computer and the phone in the river and just start over. But it's interesting too. People are so on edge right now, and God bless these poor souls in Cuba. We cannot even fathom, when you think of the entire island is devastated. I mean, you can't even imagine, I don't think, what those people would be dealing with. The mayor walking in water, which God only knows what's in that water, right? Including sharks. So walking in that water and trying to help people, and no electricity. Now they're getting generators and things in there, but it's a sad tragedy. It really is, and of course other places in the world as well. And I know that it was interesting because I bet this. I sometimes I cruise, go through Facebook, and I'll see a post which I interpret as being less than loving and compassionate. And I'm not into the politics of this. I don't, I'm not going to blame anybody. This is not about that. It really isn't. But regardless of whatever your political leanings are, that's great. But these, the point is, these people are suffering. And so I guess the mayor wore some cap and something, we need help or we're dying here, I think it said. And I saw someone say, respond, to that, well, who the hell made these T-shirts, and where'd they find time in a printing place to make these T-shirts, and it's all about blah 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 blah. And I was like, well, and I'm thinking to myself, so I bet. I said, how about a little compassion here? Not the right answer. Compassion. How dare you? And but it was, and truly, it was not about. It was intended, I believe, in my assumption that was a political statement. And mine, I just was like, for God's sake, I can't even imagine if we were in the midst of that. If I was in the midst of that, how I would respond or act. I'd probably be begging anyone, anywhere I could, for anything, just to help. But at some point, we've gotten, so divided. We're so wanting to just attack and defend and be right and judge, and it's not working for us, I don't think. It's that constant agitation. And, I really do believe we're here to live a life abundantly in joy and have our needs taken care of. Be friends with each other and support each other and respectfully disagree with each other. We don't have to always be combative and on the attack. So, as probably 9 times out of 10 during the week, one thing that I wear often is a T-shirt that says, I love my life, and it's the Namaste Center T-shirt. I love those T-shirts. And then on the peacock ones, on the back, it says, too blessed to be stressed. And it's, so those, for me, that's a reminder, and no matter where I am, when I wear them, always get comments on them. And, but I do remember, before my mother passed several months ago, I had obviously on the t-shirt, I was up visiting, and she looked at that t-shirt and she read it, and she's like, I love my life. And she said, I wish I could say that. I wish I could say that. And she goes, but I don't. And, that's her conditions, her situation obviously was not a life that was pleasant at that point in time. So, but it certainly catches our attention, when people see that, I love my life, either they'll say, oh, no, I don't, or yes, I do, and thank you for the reminder. But, we can love it. We can love it all. We can embrace it all. I shared earlier, I know that a few of us here are on like crisis line. It seems like so many of our family and extended family here are dealing with some heavy duty stuff, really some heavy duty stuff. And some days it's like, no, I don't want this. It's like, enough already, right? But then not to say, not to take anything away from it, but then I look, gosh, this is really so minuscule compared to big, hard issues people are dealing with. So I always, go back to that little, assessment, little self-talk. And it's not like, well, at least I'm not in Cuba, but just to say, really, everybody's struggling in their own way, shape, and form. So what the heck do we do with this? I mean, I think it's, we're, regardless of whether we like it or not, and whether or not things are going to change, I think it's been foretold that, the times, we're seeing extremes in the world, extremes of weather, extremes in duality and judgment and attack and defense and so on and so forth, and at the verge of war. What do we do except, I do have faith in the truth. I do have faith that there is a way to be in this world but not of it, and to live joyfully and peacefully. So I was going through the Course in Miracles, the lessons last night, just poking around, and I love those lessons. I mean, if you've never done them, they're fabulous. They'll change your perspective on everything, and that's what they're designed to do, is to really help us to be in this world in peace and harmony. So one of the lessons is I am determined to see. And the follow-up lesson on that is I am determined to see things differently. And that's the real challenge, to say, instead of engaging and jumping into the drama and the stuff that's going on and keeps coming up and letting it suck us in and bring our energy down and make us sad and angry and defensive and feeling on edge, if we would just say, I am determined to see things differently. Because what the Course goes on to say that in this lesson, because what I see is a form of vengeance. And that's a tough one. Well, what I see is a form of vengeance. Well, it is. Because it's this, everything that's going on right now is so geared or planted in fear and chaos, and everything external is seems to be crumbling. And the mantra in this particular lesson says, I see only the perishable. I see, and this is my ego, I see nothing that will last. What I see is not real, and what I see is a form of vengeance. And then it says at the end, ask yourself, is this really the world I want to see? And it goes on to say, the answer is surely obvious. Do we really want to see the perishable? Do we really want to only see things that are really temporal, the things that will never last? And the good news is those aren't real. Yeah, they seem real, they're painful, they're big hits all the time, but I do know that this is I do know that the good news here is that there is a way to navigate through this time of turmoil in peace and love and joy. But it's a decision, and I know we're being asked to dig deeper and deeper. This is a great soul growth time in the universe. And every moment we're making a decision for how we navigate. Am I going to navigate through judgment and fear and attaching to the temporal, or am I going to go inside and know that in all reality, only love is real, only love is eternal, and that's all that really matters in the end. Terry sang a great song. He didn't write it, but and we played it at his memorial. And it was, all that matters in the end is how we love. That's it. And that's just about the truth of it.